Hey everybody, I'm Bobbie and this is Bobbie Reads Tarot, and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to all my old friends. Look at that, we got rebellion. This is funny because the topic of today's tarot reading is, are these politicians going to drive us into a civil war? So that's really funny that was the card on the bottom of the deck. The cards know where we're going. So, yeah, so that's the topic of today. We're going to look at, there's a lot of really crazy rhetoric going on. And so I'm really, concerned and wanting to know what's going to happen. Are these politicians going to drive a wedge between the American people, more so than there already is, resulting in a civil war? So let's just dig right in, okay, you guys? All right, we're going to give this one last shuffle, and then we're going to dig in. I hope you guys are all doing well. As always, please remember, this is all my opinion, no facts, all alleged, whatever. Do your own research. This is just tarot. Also, if this video triggers you in some way, I do apologize. Please just click out of the video. No need to stick around, okay? Ooh. Okay. Let's see what we have here. I want to pull them all. Oh, okay. Okay, so we're starting off right now with the World card reversed, okay? When we look at this card, this talks about something not being completed. It can be a lack of fulfillment. So people are feeling incredibly dissatisfied. There's a lot of people who've lost their faith in systems and in government. This is also the card of like being agnostic. So this can also have something to do with like religion, people falling away from what they used to believe and perhaps starting to believe something new. There is definitely this energy right now of a rumbling underneath. And I think everyone can feel it here in the US. The tension is like almost palpable. And we're seeing that with this World reversed card. Things are kind of getting turned upside down, right? This world is upside down. Nothing is as it should be. Everything seems like backwards and weird. And I think because we're so polarized right now, people on the right look at the people on the left and they're like, how can you believe what you believe? And then the people on the left look at the people on the right and they think the exact same thing. There's such a large divide. There's a really big divide. And I don't know what's going to be able to bridge that gap. We have the Eight of Pentacles reversed. And this is like literally the card of feeling trapped. It can also be like being idle, being stuck, not having any momentum. But I think it's really looking at it in this spread with what we're looking at, are we going to be launched into a civil war here in the US? And this Eight of Pentacles is right now, people are feeling incredibly trapped and incredibly stuck, like caged animals. And what happens to caged animals, right? It's like you see lions that are in these, cages in certain zoos, and especially like the lions, the tigers, like the cats, and you'll see them pace back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I really feel like that's sort of what's happening with the American people, is this feeling, right, of like back and forth, back and forth. We're coming, this is our destiny. This is the destiny of the story. So whatever is going to happen, and again, we're gonna dig more into it, but whatever is going to happen, this is destined, predestined. Now, we always have free will, we always have choice. So things can't always, flex and flux. It's always this, this ebbing and flowing and things kind of weaving in and out. But what has begun this catalyst, it's already started. Okay, like the Wheel of Fortune has already begun to spin. So there's no unspinning it. Like it's spinning, and we're headed towards. And what are we headed towards? We're headed towards the Emperor. This is divine masculinity, but this is a card of government. And the Emperor can be, he can be a governing, like this is an authority figure. So we're headed to, oh gosh, you guys, I feel like we're headed towards this person who is a totalitarian. Which, I mean, we all know who's the totalitarian right now. And it's DJT. And it's so interesting because, you know, we're seeing all this momentum in the Democratic Party. And all signs would point to a Kamala win. But every single reading I've done shows a Trump win, which is so weird. Because, like, my gut says Kamala. But the cards every single time. And also, we're going to end on this King of Pentacles. This is where we're going to end up. And the King of Pentacles has always represented Trump in these readings. He always comes up as the King of Pentacles. I mean, that even kind of looks like Trump. You know, this is the King of Money. This is, yeah. So I do think we're headed towards something with Trump where he's going to take some kind of power. Is he legally going to take the power? Fairly take the power? I don't know. We'll have to see. You know? Okay, so we have the Four of Wands reversed. Four of Wands reversed really talks about a rite of passage. When we see this upright, it talks about, you know, prosperity and family bliss, but when it's reversed, it's more of like a rite of passage card. This card also talks about harmony, wanting to find harmony. So what people are wanting is to find a sense of harmony. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for to just, you know, find some peace, to find this, like this passage through, like this harmony where we can find a balance where everyone can basically get along. Everyone can kind of make concessions and agree to disagree, but have, you know, solid agreements on certain things. I know I'm not really making a lot of sense, but what's going to happen is not that. So everyone's wanting to go to this place of harmony, but what they don't see coming is there's going to be a choice to make. There is a difficult choice. You could be at a stalemate. We could be at a stalemate. But this is a choice between two sides. And then we have this Death card. Now, death doesn't mean necessarily death, okay? Death is like the end of a cycle. It's transformation. It's changes. It's new beginnings. So there could be a transformation happening right now that's transforming what we have known into something new that we have not known. We have the Ten of Swords reversed, and this is suffering. This is retaliation. This is fighting. This is just, it's being attacked. So, I mean, this is very much pointing towards there's going to be conflicts, and it does not look fabulous. We have the Ace of Swords reversed. This is, again, it's conflict. It's chaos. This is absolute chaos. And this is what everyone's afraid of. Everyone's afraid that we're going to end up with this chaos. What we're going to end up with is we are going to end up with DJT. So now let's see, okay, what is this going to look like? So we're going to switch over here to the Whispers of the Unsolved. Actually, we're not going to do those yet. We're going to go over here to this deck that had the Rebellion card on the bottom of it and see what there is to see. Okay. So again, we're just looking for general energy as far as general information. What can we expect? What's coming? Can we get more information and more details on what we can expect? Okay. what can we expect coming up? Okay, so we have weather manipulation, we have giant, we have manipulation, a lot of manipulation. That's interesting. Strategy. Let's get a few more of these. Okay, let's start here and see what we have. We have a lot to work with. Okay, so we have protection, we have solved, we had strategy, we have stalking, we have riots and protests, we have transhumanism, we have bones, we have never, oh my God. Yeah, okay. So, yes, I do think that we are going to end up in some kind of conflict, okay? The one thing I want to mention, though, is that this is already being planned. This is being planned out. There's a strategy. There's something behind this, something bigger that we are not privy to. So they're taking this division between the right and the left, and they are trying to create this situation. This is all manipulation. So it's very important, okay, that you protect yourself. How do we protect ourselves? We protect ourselves by staying solid in our beliefs. We protect ourselves by focusing on that which gives us peace. Most people, that's some form of faith. This is a very good time to focus on raising your own energy and raising your own vibration, because that is how we protect ourselves from this stuff. Okay? Okay. So, some other things that I want to look at here. Stalking. So I do believe with the stalking, this is going to go more into cyber stalking. This is going to be online stalking. So there's going to be a heightened amount of our personal information being analyzed, and then utilizing that information against us, to weaponize, to target different types of advertising and rhetoric to different people, to incite different types of things, to build up within each of us this feeling, right? This feeling that's building, and we're getting to this point where everyone is just, we're ready to snap. This is not coming from a good place. What's happening, and this is, I feel like, both sides, okay, you guys? So I'm not saying just right, I'm not saying just left. I'm saying both sides have some really dark things going on. And there are people we know that are controlling things that are above our politicians, okay? Above, way above. There's so many skeletons in their closet that they're hiding in order to pull off whatever it is that they're wanting to pull off. Now, we have some interesting things too with weather manipulation and polar shifts. So weather manipulation, I know I've mentioned it before, but I have a second channel where I talk about weird history, and I have a video over there, and I'll link it, that talks about the recent aurora borealis phenomenon that we were seeing really far south here in the United States, and how that was potentially manufactured. We are seeing more and more instances of weather manipulation. We know that the weather is being manipulated. It's something that the government has discussed. It's things that they do in areas where there's, high droughts, things like that. So I do think we're going to see this uptick in weather manipulation being used almost as a weapon, weaponized weather. With this polar shift too, they've been talking a lot about how we are due for a polar shift. But a polar shift this card could also be representative of more of like the polarities between the people and the shifting of the energies. I want to keep drawing cards to see what other clarifying information we can get on this. So I'm not going to ask any specific questions right now. I just want to get like the general kind of whatever wants to come out. I'm going to follow the cards on this one. See what we get here. Look at that. We got riot again. I always find it interesting. I mean, there's one of these decks is like, I don't know, like 180 cards. The other one's like 90. I mean, that's so many cards. And to get duplicates, I just think it's like, okay, that's the universe saying, pay attention to this one. So we are going to see riots. We are going to see protests. And I think that we're going to start seeing it around the polls, around the election. That's where the violence, I think, is going to start off. Or people are going to, yeah, I just got goosebumps. It's going to be around the election. Yeah, that's always kind of when I get goosebumps, it's like, okay, that's it. So I think the election is definitely going to be the tipping point, okay? I think that's when we're going to start to see the riots and the violence. This is a big deck. I didn't realize how many cards were in this chunk. Okay, let's see what other cards we can get to build out our reading. Are we going to civil war? Are these politicians going to drag us into a war with one another? And this is a good time to stop and say, love your neighbor, love your brothers and your sisters. And if you don't love them, that's fine. Just, give them space and stay away from them. But let's not fight and let's not hurt one another. Why are we doing this? You know what I mean? Like, whatever happened to treat others as we want to be treated? We can disagree, and it doesn't mean that we have to hate one another. It doesn't mean that we have to be mean to one another or call each other derogatory names. We can have disagreements and continue on with our lives, And I think that's really important to call out. When you start to feel anger towards the other side, take a minute, take a deep breath, because it's not worth it. There's stuff going on behind the scenes. We've got, the giants, right? The people with the skeletons in their closet that are calling all the shots. These are the people who are, again, pulling the strings. With that never surrender, I do feel that that's as a nod, again, to Trump being, the person that we're going to have to, wait a minute. Interesting. Okay. So we have Democrat. We have con man. We have propaganda. Okay, so we know the propaganda is part of this strategy. I'm going to move the riots and the protests down here, because I think that, yeah, it's going to fit better. Okay, so we have the strategy. The strategy has been already created, and the strategy is this misinformation campaign. It's this propaganda. We know we're being lied to. It doesn't matter if you watch Fox or Newsmax or News Nation or CNN or anything else. There's always a slant to it. You need to really do your own research and look at all sides, because you are going to find the truth lies in both. Okay? So if you are watching the news and it's getting you riled up, understand that that's the purpose of it. That's the point of it. Don't fall victim to their to their tactics, okay? We can protect ourselves by not falling victim, not listening, making our own decisions. It's important right now that we, again, really focus on our home, being safe in our homes, making sure that we have the things we need. It's always, a good idea to have extra supplies, to have water on hand, to have flashlights and candles and an extra little stock of food, because you just never know. I mean, and I'm not talking just about like a civil war. I'm talking about you could have a power outage. I mean, we've seen those all across Southern California. There could be a wildfire. There could be a hurricane. There could be a tornado. I mean, we're seeing all kinds of crazy stuff across the country. So it's really important that you're prepared for whatever emergency might come your way. So again, I would really encourage you to make sure that your home is safe, okay? And like we were talking about before, really focus on those things that bring you peace, because we can separate ourselves from this stuff, okay? We really can. We can protect ourselves emotionally by doing things that are healthy and by not engaging. And I think the more that we don't engage, the quicker this, like, the less fuel is, or the less, there's less fuel. The fewer people that engage in this and give this power, the less fuel it has. So now, seeing this Democrat, I do feel like it's two sides. We have the never surrender side and we have the Democrat side. And I think that it's the two camps, right? It's the them and the them. I think there's infighting right now between the giants, okay? The people above the never surrender and the Democrat, the people at the top. I think that there are two groups, two factions, and those two people, you got your right and your left, basically. They're all working together for their own, similar interests. However, there's division because, I mean, just like with any group, people aren't always going to get along. And so what we're seeing right now is this division between the upper group. And they're doing these things, and I'm not sure why they're doing these things, but they are. They're doing these things to each other. They're doing these like little backstabbing things, or they're telling people they're going to do something and then they're going to do something else. We have this confession, making a deal. I feel like this is also going back to what's happening in Israel with Hamas and Gaza, not Hamas, Hamas, Gaza, what's happening in Gaza, what's happening, everything that Israel's touching right now. And everyone is trying to get to this deal. But they're playing cat and mouse. They're not doing it. And there's all of this focus on making a deal. And the deal, I think, what we're seeing is a direct result of the people at the top fighting. I think that is where this really hinges. I think that those are the people that will determine, or maybe not. Oh, okay. We have DNA, we have supplier, we have solved, and we have delays. I do feel like there's going to be delays in, perhaps there's going to be delays in the election in determining who the winner is. And that's what also creates some of this rioting and this protesting. I do feel this solved as a confirmation card that we're on the right path. We have supplier and DNA, and I'm not sure where this is going to tie in. Okay. So this could be some type of DNA could be some type of a biological weapon, or something that is created, something that was created and will be released. There's been a lot of talk about like another pandemic or illness. So this could be something, I hate to talk about chemical warfare, but this could be something like that. Supplier, when I see supplier, I'm looking at the supplier of weapons. That's what comes to me, is like we are supplying weapons. I do think that perhaps we're going to be pulled into a much larger global conflict because we are supplying weapons to Israel and we are supplying weapons to Ukraine. And I think that being that supplier is going to pull us into a much bigger conflict. I'm really seeing, because I was really looking towards like, is this going to be a civil war? But really what we're getting here is a much broader conflict. I feel like we're seeing a much broader conflict. I'm just going to pull a few last cards here just to see, you know, any final messages that we need to know about this. So any final messages Spirit wants to give us. Okay. So yeah, I mean, there's a rivalry. There's two groups, and the rivalry is what's causing all of this. So basically everyone in the world is at the mercy, of these people and their egos, really. That's really what it is, you know. Again, warning, I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Oops, hold on. What am I doing? No. Government agency. Okay, let's see. Any final messages or cards? We have investigation, gaslighting. We have white collar crime. Okay, so we're going to start with this. So I do think that some of these crimes with Trump is also going to kick off some of this conflict. I do think that we're looking at the issues with him, the classified documents case down in Florida, and there's the federal cases. There's all these cases, and I feel like his drama and conflict around his investigations and the rhetoric that he's spewing, it is gaslighting. Okay, it is. These are crimes that were committed. These are crimes. The things that people don't want to believe that he's committed any crimes. They want to believe that the justice system has been weaponized to go after him. But the fact is, the facts show that some of these, he was found guilty of. So he did, in fact, do it. So I do think that right there is going to be a catalyst for some of the civil stuff that we're going to see here within our own nation. Okay, Spirit, any final messages about what is going on? That just went flying. We have Sixth Sense. Okay. Follow your intuition during this time. This is a time that I firmly believe is going to be a time of great awakening. I feel, and that's why I tell people, don't be afraid. Focus on your peace. Focus on being centered, because I do feel like those that have that are going to be protected. So it's really important right now that if your gut's like, you know what, I need to go somewhere, or I don't think I should go there. I think it's really important right now to listen to your sixth sense, okay? I think that's your intuition. And then we have exposed and explosive. So something is going to be exposed. And when it's exposed, it's going to be explosive. I think this is a good place to stop. If you guys like these kinds of videos, please be sure to give this video a thumbs up on your way out. And also, if you have not already subscribed, please consider clicking the little subscribe button. I am trying desperately to get to 1,000 subscribers, and you can help me out with that. Also, if you ever want to know what decks I'm using, I link my website in the description box down below, and on my website are links to all of these decks. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.